Hello everyone, and welcome to Star Trek Event Horizon, a Star Trek Adventure 2nd Edition game using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is E04 the Game Master, and before we do introductions, I do have to say that this is the April 1st session, which means that we have a shiny new intro thanks to Techno Nerd, and for any of you watching this live, fun fact for April Fools, the good and evil redeems have been reversed. So, Bean, you have not redeemed momentum, you have already redeemed a complication. So well done there. And it's just going to be funny because anybody coming in late is going to have no idea and is just going to keep giving the players complications. So, there you go. Okay, Tigdam has given momentum. There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
What a hero. What a hero.
But yeah, if you're listening to this on podcast, there's probably going to be a few visual gags that you're not going to get, but I do recommend coming over to YouTube and watching it that way if you can. But let's get introductions out of the way, and then we can run the shiny new intro. So we'll start with, Peter, you're in the wrong place, but Peter, who are you playing, and anything you want to shout out?
Hey everybody, I'm Peter, or Petrus Aquinas around the interwebs. And I am playing the Temerian Chief Engineer, Lieutenant Commander Giral. Anything to shout out? Not yet, but there might be something soon.
Okay, love it. Ravenslore, what do you got going on?
Hey, I'm Ravens, or Tony. I am playing Commander Oliver Mason, the CEO of the Event Horizon. You can see me playing games like Forbidden Lands and Pathfinder on Crucible Gaming.
All right. And last but not least, Steadfast.
Hello, Steadfast here, otherwise known as Richard, and I am playing Lieutenant Commander Zephyt, Denobulan Chief Tactical Officer and Navigator of the glorious Little Event Horizon. Emphasis on Little.
Mm. Well, speaking of majestic openings, let's see it.
Now to see my dream come alive at last, I will touch in the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna make. Oh shit! You alright? Dave, you alright?
And if you have no idea what the hell just happened, trust me, neither do any of us, because Techno sent me that video 3 days ago, and he's like, I'm sorry. That's literally what Techno's message was I'm sorry. So, there you go. There's your April Fool's joke for the year. That is all thanks to Techno Nerd. Definitely give that man all your commissions and beautiful money. But no, we are still working on an actual intro. It's just we are again trying to get the model from the person who made the ship, and they've had laptop issues. But eventually we'll have a nice actual intro. But once again, for anybody rolling in, as a reminder, the good and evil redeems are reversed today. So just keep that in mind. In the meantime, though, we have an opening log from Lieutenant Commander Zephyt. So Zephyt, please take it away.
Perfect. All right. Stardate 69251.3, Chief Tactical Officer's Log. Supplemental. We've just finished passing off V and her associate to Daystrom Institute for further implementations. We are now about to make another long-range jump to this great galactic barrier to take a peek at a pulsar that's been sending off some strange signals. Starfleet Command has informed us that these signals have been picked up by universal translators and somehow decoded into a very crude cycling SOS, being that the Event Horizon is firmly the fastest ship in the fleet. We will be heading over there post-haste to do some poking around, so fingers crossed everything is as smooth in this encounter as it was with our friends the Cytherians and Log.
All right, you may have momentum for that, bringing your total momentum up to 2, thanks to chat. So,
Nice.
where we begin is, as always, right before the big jump. And is there anything you all want to handle before you jump out to the Great Galactic Barrier where this pulsar is located?
There's nothing like majorly weird about the galactic barrier, right? It's just that weird thing at the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. There's
Yeah,
no,
so one thing I would
yeah.
tell you out of character, and maybe you can read this in character on like a computer database, is that any species that is psychically inclined or an individual that has psychic leanings, their powers tend to be amplified by the barrier.
Gotcha. Okay.
But otherwise,
And how
yeah, it's
close?
just this big field that surrounds the Milky Way.
How close are we getting to that barrier?
Very close, within 3 light years.
Oh, so right there.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Lovely.
Is that pulsar that's out there? Is it just pulsar in a system? Are there any other like planetary bodies around it, or is it just
You have no idea.
Oh, nice. I'm assuming
Can
we're.
can we cross it?
Yeah, I was gonna.
The
Yeah,
barrier?
exactly.
It is possible. It's just not very probable.
But if we had to,
It would be like a difficulty 5, but you could do it.
Interesting.
and if we put the coaxial drive through it,
I don't know. We'll find out together.
well, we'll run some numbers on the way just
Yeah.
to have an idea.
So in that case, if everybody is ready, why don't we do the jump and get the session started proper? So once again, the event horizon, the edges of it sort of shimmer and glow with a blue light as the space around the event horizon folds into itself. Watching from the interior of the ship, you sort of see the tesseract space of just infinitely reflected views that just go on and on and on, like if you were to put 2 mirrors next to each other. And then in the same moment, it feels like, you emerge into this system containing the pulsar. However, this is not just your average rotating neutron star. And for anybody who doesn't know what a pulsar is, it's basically a lighthouse neutron star where it is spinning in such a way that a beam of EM particles is shot out from the poles. And just like a lighthouse, you sort of see that rotating pattern based on how the neutron star rotates. However, as you arrive and you start doing preliminary scans, and even just looking out of the view screen, what you see is a variety of large structures that are constructed around this neutron star. They sort of look like sort of a Dyson swarm, but they look half completed, or they look maybe like there's been some damage to them in a little bit of way. But anything more than that will require a roll.
We attempt to like scan the building design and see if it matches any sort of Federation databases to determine potentially if we know any of the groups that may have put this here. Or...
Yeah, so this can be tackled a different number of different ways. I'll let you all decide who's going to be doing the rolling. But this would be either a reason science or a reasons engineering. And the event horizon will assist with either a sensors engineering or a sensor science.
One of you smart goobers can handle this one. I know my place.
It looks like the engineering tech is probably our higher. Yeah. It's our higher stuff with the event horizon, and mine is, if you add them together, I have a 16.
Nice, yeah.
So,
though, if I remember, Mason, don't you have to do the roll to do quick survey, or is that just something that happens? Let me see.
It is just something that happens. So, anything. I'm limited to what I can perceive with my senses.
There we go. Okay.
So I can't use a scan to do it. It's what I can see outside the viewport.
Got it.
So I guess I can ask my 2 questions. Is the pulsar behaving as a normal pulsar?
No, it is very erratic, and it almost looks like part of the structure is trying to steer the pulsar beam coming off of it.
That's interesting.
What else would we like to do?
Well, if it's trying to steer, do we see
Yeah.
are like the structures like because if we're just looking on like senses and stuff, are the platforms moving? Like, is there visual activity?
Do you want that to be your question?
What do you think? That's the only thing I can think that you could ask for senses, I guess, before we run like a scan.
Yeah, either that or if there's any other things visually in the system that it might be steering towards. Like, is there
Yeah,
the
that's what
other
I was thinking.
stellar bodies? Is there an asteroid or
can we
planet? Yeah.
can we determine what they're trying to aim it at?
hmm
So, how do I say this without spoiling the mystery? So, again, based on your senses, you would be able to tell that part of the steering of the beam did pass through what could have been a planet at some point because there is a very large and rocky debris field in the system.
All right, and then we can make a trait,
Mm-hmm.
which we will call. What's a good trait name for knowing the direction that thing's shooting it? Pulsar trajectory.
I like it. Pulsar trajectory. Pulsar trajectory. Can I spell trajectory today? Maybe. Probably
Just in
not.
case they aim it at us.
Yeah. Make sure the ship is always moving away from where the beam is going. Just
Mm-hmm.
Or at least we know it's coming.
right.
Yeah. So, as
But-
I said, this is going to be either a reason science or reason engineering. Ship assisting with probably a sensors engineering. Difficulty was a 3. This new trait lowers it to a 2.
I think this is more of an engineering
Yeah.
issue than a science issue at the moment. So
Okay. I don't think I have a focus that works here. So we're going to just do that. Since the ship is helping, do you think I should use a momentum to get another die just in case because it is me? Or should we risk it?
I mean,
I think if we have momentum, we should spend it.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
agree.
Okay,
besides,
so
it's April Fool's. Peter when the dice fell. It's all going to be one.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I will roll 3 dice then.
Okay, well, there's your 2 you already get.
There you
And
go.
then,
And let's
someone wants
do
to
it
grab
the ship.
sensors engineering on the ship.
I'll grab the ship just because, yeah.
That's you, baby.
There you go. 3
wow.
successes. You get your
Nice.
momentum right back. There you go. So, the metallurgy? Yeah, metallurgy of these structures is not Iconian. It is not the predecessor species. It is not any known on record. However, what I can tell you is that what the computer is able to turn out is that this is a very special kind of megastructure. This is what is known as a Nicol-Dyson beam, a hypothetical advanced weapon where you take the energy of a star and focus it into a very tight and very powerful beam that can strike targets millions upon millions of light years away.
Wow.
Tarkin, his chin being stroked.
Awful.
So where's that SOS coming from?
Well, that I can answer for free. Is that one of the structures that is part of the channeling focus of the beam? That is where the SOS is conceivably coming from, where they are piggybacking the pulsar beam on top of the not fully completed structure.
And these structures are very large.
They're Dyson swarm spheres, so they are
So they're
huge.
covering the sun. Yeah. Can we isolate where that's coming from? I'm thinking like we could land the ship or transport down.
Both are possible.
So if we could, but if the thing's the size of Australia, then we kind of need to have.
Right, we got to
An
pinpoint
idea
a little
where
bit
we're going.
further here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also find it funny. Hopefully, this distress beacon is like less than 30 people, because otherwise, how many people can we hold? max capacity ELH?
Roughly about 15.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay.
All right.
Could go wrong.
So I guess the question is, are you all beaming down, leaving the beta shift in charge of the ship? Are you sending an away team? What does it look like?
I want
I
to
think we.
set
Go ahead.
I want to set a precedent in that, as per general orders, captain stays on the ship if it's a dangerous situation, unless it's extreme circumstances. So I think I will send out the Orion.
Okay.
His
Nice.
name I forget. Kasich.
Okay. Well, as they are a supporting character, this does count as a activation. So you can give them another value, or you could give them a talent. You could give them a focus. You could give, in fact, they're missing focuses. They need 3 focuses. But you could count this as an activation. You could upgrade them a little bit.
Nice.
I'm sure I picked focuses for him.
Might not have
I will-
imported. I wonder what happened there.
I think I manually put it in. I might not have finished it, but I can fill those in, and
Sweet.
I'll take a talent, which I will decide as you guys prep for an away mission.
Nice. Yeah, can we, I guess, pinpoint exactly where that stress beacon is so we can land as close as possible to where it's coming from?
Yeah, and in fact, what I'm going to say is that the structure in question actually has a Class M atmosphere on it, so no EV suits
nice.
required.
That was perfect. That was going to be my next question. Awesome.
Neat.
How nice of them.
But just to be sure, you are landing and then transporting, or transporting and then landing? What's the order of operations here?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. I guess, how big is our transporter pad? How many people can go in one beam?
2 at a time.
Oh, great.
That sounds about right. Yep.
Yep.
Transporter closet.
Yeah, I think it would be best that we just beam down and just, small away team of just 3, 4, right? So the ship isn't at risk in case anything, shifts these platforms in any abnormal way while we're down there.
Yeah, we don't know anything yet, so a couple
Yeah.
of security guys and an engineer just to scope the place out makes sense to me.
Yep.
And we'll tuck Event Horizon, somewhere close to the structure,
Mm-hmm.
potentially out of sight of the others.
Okay.
As best we can, anyway.
All right. So, to fast forward a little bit, we have a transport sequence where you beam in 2 groups. And when both groups arrive, what you're looking at is a massacred interior where there is metal debris everywhere. There are sparks shooting from what might have been consoles at one point. There are great gashes in the walls. There are what could have been some form of EPS or ODN lines been strewn all over the place, flashing lights. Basically what you would find in a laser tag arena on Earth, but more devastated, if you will. But what catches your immediate attention are the bodies that you're seeing. And these bodies are all of what appear to be some kind of serpentine alien. Now, I'd like you to imagine, obviously, the lower half of a snake, but then the upper half is something more like an anthropod, like a lobster. At least that's how I'm imagining it. Where the hands, such as they are these big giant claws, and that their head is very much kind of that spindly, sort of whiskery like lobster kind of a thing.
Interesting.
But the
How
bodies
many-
overall are larger than you all. Like, this is the size of, say, like a shuttlecraft. Each one of these bodies is the size of a small shuttlecraft.
Wow.
So they are big. And everything in here is sized to match. So the consoles, such as they are sized to match these creatures.
Okay.
Very large.
Fascinating. And how many bodies are there?
In this immediate space that you beamed into, you are seeing 3.
Interesting. I think I will test to call back to the event horizon to make sure that we're not getting any sort of major interference. Commander, away team checking in.
Go ahead.
We found corpses immediately. Lots of destruction here. These things are far larger than our standard design. Think of individual creatures of the size of a shuttlecraft, sir. So if there are survivors, it will be difficult for us to attempt evacuation.
Not a species I'm familiar with.
Me neither. We'll take some scans and continue further in and try to keep you updated as much as we can.
Please do. Be careful.
Shoutout. Understood. Let's, I guess, preliminary scans of the bodies.
I'm whipping out my tricorder and doing a medical scan, see if I can get both kind of an understanding of maybe their basic biology and also life signs.
Yep.
Okay. So, Mr. Giral, if you could give me a reason and medicine, because these are a unknown species that obviously are beyond anything you've detected, have in the database, I am going to set the difficulty at a 3.
Does my focus of internal medicine come into play here?
I'll give it to you.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to use a momentum if that's okay with everybody.
4 successes, so you get the momentum once again right back. See, it's April Fool's.
It's definitely April Fool's.
It's April Fool's, yeah. All right, well, since this is now a fun thing and I still have chat complication, so Giral, when you scan the first body, you do detect that it is a silicon-based life form, not a carbon one. You also detect a very faint heartbeat, and this is where the complication comes into play, because the carapace of the lobster part begins to crack and open up, and just like a alien facehugger, something leaps out onto Giral's face.
Oh no! Do we have any moment to react to this thing or no?
If you spend a momentum, yes.
Yeah, can I try to spend a momentum and see if I can shoot it out of the air before it touches the Giral face?
Sure, we can certainly try. Why don't you give me a control and a security at a difficulty of 2.
Alrighty. I do have a focus
Don't hit me.
in phasers. So don't worry. Starfleet security trains us for all of these tasks. And I will give you a threat for a 3rd die.
I will take a treat. Okay, 2 successes. And how much damage does your phaser do?
4.
Okay, that is enough then. Because as you, almost like a skeet shot, like, that you pull the disc and you fire with the shotgun, kind of that same thing, where Zephyr, you are prepared to just boom with the phaser. The thing that falls to the ground, just missing Giral by like a few inches, if that. The thing that falls to the ground stunned, because you did stun it, you didn't deadly hit,
Yes,
right?
yeah, I'm not trying to instantly murder this thing.
Just making sure.
For first contact, for sure.
Just making sure. Because what falls to the ground is something that resembles a proto-lobster. Like just this tiny little, almost like a wiener dog sized, like lobster snake thing.
Oh, that's unsettling, to say the least. Are you all right?
That was rather startling.
We're definitely cutting a little close there, but
Yes.
what is that?
Well,
is that different than the
before I was so rudely interrupted, it is a silicon-based life form. Question. Is the life signs that I detected coming from this and not from the larger body at this point?
If you spend a momentum, I will answer that question and give you a bonus.
I think we should do
Yeah.
Okay. So, in that case, not only are you correct that this little thing is the life signs you were detecting, but they're an exact match for the larger creature, almost as if it's a form of regeneration.
Okay.
Interesting.
In fact, as you try quarter the other bodies in the room, you're seeing that same sort of thing with the other bodies.
Okay, everybody, keep your distance unless you want to be Cameron when the worms jumped. Like, yeah, stay away. Because we might be seeing some more hop out.
Yeah. All right, well, then we take it nice and slow. And I think we should try to follow to wherever the distress beacon is emanating from within this structure, yes?
Wait, do we want to... Do any of these other lobster snakes seem to be head bursting anytime soon?
You probably have a little bit.
Okay. It's just a question of whether or not we stick around, try to use the universal translator, or just keep going.
Well, maybe we can forcibly wake up the little one that I stunned and see if there's a way that we can communicate it, if that's what we want to try.
Hi, I know we just stunned the hell out of you, but how you feeling?
Yeah,
how you
right.
doing?
Pleasure to meet you. But jumping onto our face is not the form of a handshake, please, sir.
We tend to take that more personally.
Yeah.
I
guess how far are we currently from where the distress beacon is coming from?
The good news is it is in this room somewhere, but you can't localize it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we can look around while keeping an eyeball on the unconscious.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the unconscious snake lobster, and
I will look around to see if I can localize the distress call.
Okay, so that's going to be a reason and engineering at a difficulty of 1.
Nice. Would my computer's focus help?
It would.
Yay.
There you go, another momentum. See, again, April Fools.
Wow.
Peter's on fire today. So, Gerald, you do find a console that is flickering and is showing a large variety of alien glyphs, which you have no idea, and the Universal Translator has no idea. But
Nice.
I'd like you to imagine almost like a toddler is trying to play with the LCARs. That's the size difference here, where your entire hands are the size of these buttons and glyphs. But you can confirm that the SOS is coming from this console.
I located the SOS. We will probably have to get a ladder so we can try to translate it.
Do you need me to hold you up or something? Like you are very, very, very small.
piggyback formation,
Just
beta
straight up lifts
6.
me up.
Yeah.
I could throw you up there.
Suddenly, Gerald is now in the air.
Beautiful.
Did you just throw me up there, or are you...
Only offering to. So.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure. That just happened right away.
Oh no, a complication. Well, we know what a complication means. So remember how you were watching the corpses?
Yeah.
One of them begins to crack and shatter as another snake lobster alien facehugger jumps out at the nearest target, which happens to be Mr. Zephyt.
Okay, it's not me. All right.
All right. Can I attempt the same thing? Have a momentum to shoot?
I'm going to say no because it's directed
It's a
at you.
complication.
So
It's valid,
it's going to fall to one of the other two to shoot it out of the
Probably,
air.
I'll grab it.
yeah. You don't want me shooting at anything.
Well,
Okay.
while it is jumping, I'll be like, "We're representatives of Starfleet. We're peaceful," and I try to rapid fire out that we don't mean you any harm, just in case it does understand us, or at least trying.
Okay. Well, for our lovely new supporting character, Lieutenant Junior Grade Kasich, that is a control security difficulty of 2.
Control security.
Nice.
Focus in mixed martial arts probably helps.
Probably.
Because I'm just going to use my hands.
Oh, if you're going to use your hands, then it's a daring security, difficulty of 1, and it's opposed.
Even better.
Nice.
Kasich he hasn't really been introduced to the stream yet, but he is a ginormous Orion.
Nice.
With the trait of 265 pounds of Orion stuffed into a Starfleet uniform.
Nice.
It's just one of those huge, big guys. So he will just manhandle this little thing.
Okay.
We have momentum, so I'll get a die.
Okay.
I have martial artist. That's the talent I picked up, but I'm not going to use lethal force.
Okay.
And focus. There we go.
Okay. Well,
Nice.
I mean, I'm going to roll just because there's a chance of complication, but I'm pretty sure you beat this thing. Let's expand out that 38. Yeah, roll the complication. So, Kasich, what I'm going to imagine is you kind of do one of those interceding grabs where you just kind of thrust your arm forward and grab its midsection as it kind of tries to lunge at Zephyt, but you have it in your hand. You could attempt to knock it out. You could throw it to the ground. You could simply hold it, but it is within your grasp firmly.
I don't think I want to knock it out,
Okay.
but I might give it a little bit of a shake to settle it down a little bit.
Okay. Now, is this kind of I was going to say, how vigorous of a shake are we talking here?
I don't want to harm it, but I do want to disorient it, perhaps.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if these things spit fire or acid or who knows.
These are all good questions. Also, by my count, you do get 2 momentum, so you're at 4 momentum. So, you shake the baby, as it were, and
See, I didn't want to say that.
but you shake the baby, and it calms down, and it stops flailing around and making a bunch of fussing and shrieking noises. But it calms down, and then it just kind of looks around, and then it begins kind of like this chittering sound that's almost like a squirrel eating a nut is the best sound I can think to describe.
Okay. Is our universal translator doing anything? Or
Your universal translator is like, "Porqué?"
Right. I'll point towards the computer that's doing the distress beacon and be like, "We came to help. Called for help." I'm looking around like, I don't know, what are we doing here?
Are you literally doing the thing when any
Yes.
American goes to a foreign country and just speaks louder and slower?
100%.
Like that helps?
It's way louder and slower. It wouldn't do anything if you don't know what my language is and I'm speaking, giving it a gander. Yeah.
So, the regenerated form has no idea what you're talking about and just chitters even more.
All right. Fair enough. I tried.
A deer beneath Momote. Oh, man.
Hey, there you
What
go.
do you
There's a
want me to do
momentum
with this
for
thing?
you.
Can we just make sure the universal translator is really scanning these chitterings? Maybe it'll pick up on something. I don't know.
Yeah. So that would be let's call it a control and a con at a difficulty of 4.
Oh, my control and my
Ooh.
con are good.
Well, there you go.
I don't have any focuses in speaking to whatever this thing is, but
You do have 5 momentum. Could help.
I do have a lot of momentum. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if I got anything. Yeah, no foci. Let's see if I have any value. No, I don't think I have any values that would really apply unless we can pull on a mission directive or something.
Up to you. You do have mission directives on the event horizon.
We do have where no one has gone before, and when in doubt, improvise. So
Hey, there we go.
either of those could work.
Yeah, how about I do the value when in doubt improvise.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. And then you said a diff 4, right?
Yep, diff 4, and you're starting with 2 free successes.
Cool. So I am using a determination value. And then I will still give you momentum so I can roll a third die, right? So,
So it would be 1 momentum.
yeah. Okay, cool. And then this should work. No, I have to roll 1 more, right?
I can offer you a success with a complication.
Unless
But
you
don't
have
I roll 1
cautious
more?
or not
Or do
cautious
I?
die.
No, because the way determination works in 2nd edition is it just turns a die into a 1.
Oh, okay. I was still thinking 1st edition. So I was meaning to roll another die, but
Oh,
it's
you
all
know what?
good.
It's April 1st. I'll be nice. You can spend 2 more
Okay.
momentum to roll another die if you wish.
I will do so.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go. There's your 4.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we got it.
So the universal translator starts to work in spurts where it is a very excited, very is liminal the right word? Superliminal is the
Okay.
right word?
Sure.
Basically, imagine somebody speaking on helium and speaking very quickly, which I'm not going to do because I want you to be able to understand what I'm telling you. But just imagine that this is coming across very quickly in a very high-pitched voice. But the universal translator, the alien, says, "You must stop the grand weapon from firing. You must stop the grand weapon from firing. We know not what we were doing. Stop the weapon from firing."
Okay.
Are
All
you
right.
going to tell us how to do that, or?
Right. Can
Our
you
luck,
can
the
you at
universal
least
translator only works one way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in fact, that's a fun complication. So I'm going to spend
Aw.
two threat that when you
Yeah.
speak back, the
Sorry,
creature
guys.
the creature just keeps repeating as if it doesn't understand you.
All right, so stop the weapon from firing. All right, well, I'm assuming we all hear that, so I'll look up at a draw and be like, well, I think we know what we have to do now. That doesn't really help us in the direction of how to go about doing this, but can you learn anything from those systems, or?
Well, with the basic translator that you've got, I can attempt to see if it can make sense of any of the glyphs,
Yeah,
but without knowing what the glyphs do, I'd be hesitant to start pushing buttons.
right.
Because since it's a weapon, since we now know that, it might start firing at
Yeah,
anything, especially close by things, which would be a problem.
Well, as a reminder, this is a mega structure, which means it doesn't really do nearby things. It does
That's
long
true,
range
right.
things.
right.
Which then could also be a problem.
Well, what if we completely just turn off, like flip the
Power?
breaker switch, right? Probably be bad for us on this platform. Probably.
If we could find the proverbial circuit breaker switch, maybe.
Well, every power system, at least, we can find a way to trace where it's coming from, theoretically.
Theoretically, it is, I'm sure, being powered by the star itself.
Right.
As most Dyson structures are. So if we can find the power transfer node,
Mhm.
maybe we could either shut it down or overload it.
Sounds like the best shot we have, I
I
think.
think let's see if the ship can give us a little help in pinpointing where that might be. I'm gonna
Mhm.
hit my communicator. Giral to Event Horizon.
Go ahead, Drew.
Captain, we've discovered that the this structure is in fact a weapon. We have had a little bit of contact with some survivors, and so we need some help determining how to shut this device down. My best thought is to locate a power transfer node, which I'm sure the ship's sensors would be able to detect much more easily than my tricorder.
This structure would have thousands and thousands of square miles of power collection.
Yes. But we may be able to, if we can follow some of the power transfer, we may be able to either find the central node, where everything is collected to direct it, or at least it might lend us an idea of where perhaps the control station is.
There is several structures, so there must be a central AI of some sort. I'll see what I can find from here.
All right, Mr. Mason, if you could give me a reason and engineering, and the Event Horizon will assist you with a sensors engineering. The difficulty on this is going to be a 3.
Got the ship set.
Would a probe help?
I would say launching a probe would allow you to scan more of the structure, so you would be able to get a more comprehensive answer, but it wouldn't lower the difficulty.
Okay.
Probably not a bad
Starship
idea.
sensors for focus.
Most definitely.
Focus. Difficulty was, what'd you say?
3.
3.
I've got the ship at the complication range 18 to 20 because experimental. 1 focus, 1 die. There's the ship.
Well, the Event Horizon,
Nice.
again, came to play today.
Guess so.
Peter's dice. It is April Fool's. I'm just going to spend the 1, I guess.
Okay.
We'll hope.
Well, that's
Wow.
that's 6
Yeah.
successes. So
The universe,
you
the
get
mirror craft.
3 momentum. You get 3 momentum back, bringing you to 4 by my count. And yeah, so Mason, I have good news and I have bad news. Which would you like first?
I would like the good news first.
The good news is that actually, yes, the central structure that is presumably pulling most of the power for the platform that Jaral, Zephyr, and the rest of the away team are on is that structure. It is like a few rooms over from where they are currently situated.
That's good.
The bad part is the amount of energy that's flowing through there. Now, Star Trek warp core is already kind of space magic as they are with how much energy they put off. And I did, this is me nerding out for a little bit, but basically, in order for, you remember in DS9 where the Romulan and Cardassian fleet went to go blow up the Founder homeworld, and they were like, oh, it's going to take us an hour to do that? A normal star takes days to do it. So the fact that they could do it in an hour means that the power generation is on another scale. So I want you to keep that in mind as I tell you that this power generation is 3 logarithmic steps above that. So there is a unimaginable amount of power flowing through there, and if you disrupt that and you don't do it properly, very bad things could happen to people not only on the structure but in the immediate stellar area.
Mm-hmm. Supernova.
Okay. But we have lots of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So we can spend a couple to make a trait
You could.
for power system schematic or something along that line.
Yeah, okay, let me add that. It'll cost 2 momentum, but let me go ahead and add that trait. Power. I'm just going to call it power schematic. Is how I'm going to call it.
Sure.
Cool.
And the reason for the trait is because we generate bonus momentum if we use that trait. So
Nice.
if you guys use the trait, it doesn't work for me, but it works for you guys.
Sweet.
Yeah. So good news, bad news. Power collector is close to your location. The bad news is I don't know how we're going to disrupt that powers without. Well, it's too much. It has to go somewhere. I'll send along a schematic. It's rough, but should give you a good idea.
That would be useful.
At this point, the alien has stopped repeating itself and is looking at the very large Orion, and it says, "Why are you holding me? Put me down."
Oh, good. It's talking again.
I don't take orders from you
Why are you holding me? Put me down.
because you jumped at my friend.
It
Why
repeats
were you
itself
trying-
over and over.
Why were you trying to jump on our face? And I'll make the motion of it on my face.
It does this weird thing where like its little antenna kind of flicker a little bit, and then it just sort of starts clapping its claws, and it says, "Put me down. Put me down right now. I insist."
Sir?
Let's put it down, keep an eye on it, and see what it does. Maybe it could be helpful.
Okay. Guys, Nicol put it down nice and gentle.
All right. The moment the creature's snake part touches the ground, it starts to slither around and start to snake up the consoles and look at them, and just generally kind of acting like a overactive, hyperactive dog, just going from place to place looking at things. And it just kind of does a running narration where it goes, "Okay, power generation is still rising. Weapon is preparing to still fire within an hour. Weapon safeguards are offline. Okay, it's gonna fire. I don't know what we can do to stop it, but it's going to fire. Oh no, it's going to fire."
And it still is unable to. We're still unable to communicate with it.
Correct. Yes. Anything you say to it, lost in translation.
I'm gonna try to like mime to it that we can understand it. So if it has any sort of information that it can be potentially helpful with, we're able to understand what it is saying. It just can't understand what we're saying. So I'll do
Mostly
a lot
for
of like,
comedy's sake. What
Yeah.
what does that look like? Like, give
I
me
was
an
wondering the
example
same
of what that
thing.
looks
Right.
like.
I'll go to it and I'll like get real close to it and I'll like point towards however it's talking, and I'll do like the hand symbol of like the talking thing, and then I'll point to my ears and I'll like nod really happily and do a couple thumbs up. And
I'm spending 2 threat that as you do that, it leaps up and one of its claws latches onto your earlobe.
okay, that's fine. I'll allow it to remain latched if it's maybe getting the message.
No, it just sort of remains latched for like a few seconds, and it lets go, and then kind of does the dog head turn at you.
Okay. All right.
Doing great, sir.
Thank you. Please don't tell the commander about this. Leave it off of your reports. All right, well, I'll just keep an eye on it and see if it starts to say anything that could be helpful.
Though at this point, it's kind of going to each of you in turn. Like, it says, "I don't know what that was about, but I hope you're happy." And then it goes over to the big Orion and says, "You would do very well in this security corps."
I in the security corps.
And then it just scutters away. Like, again, it doesn't understand. Even the thumbs up, it just kind of chitters with its claws a little bit as you give it the thumbs up. But then it goes over to like Lieutenant Commander Giral. And Giral, are you still like looking up at the main console? Are you on top of it at this point? Where are you?
I'm on top of it, kind of like trying to figure out, like using my tricorder to like trying to input whatever the universal translator and trying to make it work.
Okay. So it kind of snakes its way up one of the support arms for the console, and it just sort of sits next to you and goes, "Oh, I wouldn't push that. That would blow us all up. Oh, and that would blow us all up too.
Yeah.
That would nuke half the galaxy, and that would just cause things to go plaid."
Now we're getting somewhere.
Sir, do you know what you're doing up there?
Nesmith, his situation clear. No.
Oh.
Yeah.
The universal translator is not being entirely helpful, and our friend here is just telling me ways that we can kill everyone and everything.
I have a question.
I'm gonna just start like pointing at various symbols and seeing if I get reactions.
Okay. Ravens, you had a question?
Just in character.
Oh, okay.
Kasic's asking. Do we know what this thing's pointed at? Just
Not at the moment, communicator. Giral to Event Horizon.
go ahead.
do you have a trajectory on the aperture of this weapon?
I don't, but I could see if I could find one. Any luck shutting this thing down? Sounds like no.
Not as of yet.
All right.
Do
Well,
you need me to come down there?
Only if you can understand strange symbols and small lobster creatures.
Well, I am smarter than you are.
That's true.
Let me see if I can sort this out.
Hemba, his wide arms wide. All right, Captain, if you want to, it's fine.
All right, Mason. This is now going to be a reason con, your power stack clearly. And the event horizon will assist you with a computers con. Difficulty of 2.
On is not not great.
Put the mic next to the little guy, you never know.
I think this is important.
Yeah.
So I am going to spend determination on this.
Okay.
And I'm going to use the value, I am smarter than you.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Because
fits.
I've been waiting to be able
Nice.
to pull that off.
There you go.
So just don't roll a complication. That's all you have to do. The ship and you just don't roll a complication.
Should be fine.
Easy peasy.
What's the ship rolling again?
Computers
great.
con.
Computers con. Okay, 1 second. I got this.
Should be fine.
Okay, that's
Nice.
4 successes, meaning a 2 momentum back, bringing you up to 4 momentum. So I just have bad news. If this megastructure goes off, if this Nicol-Dyson beam fires, it is going to take out Hobus, Kronos, Earth, and basically anything in that line. Now, of course, it's not an instantaneous beam that you would see in Star Wars because we work on science here, where it's going to take hundreds of years for the beam to travel across space, if not thousands of years. But eventually, Earth's not going to have a very good time.
Okay. Now I have an awful thought, and just read me through on this. So these little things, when they were jumping on our face,
Yes.
were they like trying to like attack us with its claws, or is there some other thing that it was attempting to do?
The GM is remaining silent for a reason.
Yeah. So this is where my headspace is going. This thing doesn't appear to be openly hostile towards us, right? It's like coexisting in the room, and all of its speech has been attempting to ascertain what else is going on, right? So it's probably not trying to kill us or do anything like awful to us, and it seems like it does want to shut down the thing. What if I put one on my face? What if its way of like transferring information or communing mentally or potentially physically with a being like us?
Chat, make a note in the log that this is the first time anybody has volunteered to be face hugged. I just want that to be noted for posterity.
Just make a note, yeah.
Just want that to happen.
See, we're just talking it through. It's all right. We're not doing anything yet.
So, just to be clear, and the GM is confirming, you wish to be face hugged.
Well, we're talking it through. Can we get like a medical scan or see if there's any other biological, parts that we can tell that's happening on this little thing? Like if it's got like a cerebral stem that is gonna stuck into my left nostril, right? Like maybe we got
it's
something going on
funny you
here.
mention that, because if you look at your earlier scans and the scans of the current creature, it actually seems to have some form of I don't even know what to call it without it being a reference, but almost like a probing sort of tendril that actually comes from the interior of its claws. So when it did latch onto your ear earlier, you would have felt something tickling your earlobe, but you wouldn't have known what it was.
That's upsetting. But it does appear with those scans that it's oh no. Man, do I let it This feels like it's a bad choice, but we're getting we're getting information that might make it seem like it's a potentially helpful scenario.
Well, Chad thinks you should go for it.
Well,
Chat
yeah,
does, yeah.
that's not surprising. Um, I mean, honestly, what else? What else we got? I mean, you can try some rolls with the computer, I guess, and see if you can make any ground that way. See if little dude says any other potentially
Just point at more
helpful.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Pointed words, um, and see if we can make any forward momentum in that regard.
All right. Let's try that first.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, Gerald. With this plan, it is a presence engineering difficulty of 2.
Okay.
And you are at 4 momentum by my count, so.
Would my focus of reverse engineering come into play here?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Excellent. Okay, difficulty of 2.
Mm-hmm.
How much momentum we got? 4.
Do have 4.
Do you think we need it? Need to spend it on this, or?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll spend a momentum to get 3 dice. You focus.
2 successes is what you need.
Yeah.
So, Gerald, as you are putting your big brain to work and working with the creature, eventually you find a control that says, that is the targeting sensor. It appears to still be locked on its original target.
Hmm.
And to give you this for free, the original target is a star system on the complete opposite side of the Milky Way galaxy.
Of course it is.
Of course.
I'm gonna shoot their enemies and don't care what gets in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what is the location of the original target? Is there anything significant about the system, or?
Well, when you presumably pull it up on a tricorder, like you
That's what I'm doing.
reference the
Yep.
Event Horizons computer, and you go, what's this actually look like? The little creature kind of looks like it kind of snakes its way up your leg and then looks at the tricorder screen, unless you're like showing it the tricorder screen.
I wasn't originally planning on it, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, when it gets a look at the tricorder screen, it goes, yes, that is supposedly the enemy we were fighting. But this is too much. We will destroy too much in our way. You must stop this weapon. Do not push that button. That will blow us all the kingdom come.
Okay.
And that one will turn everything plat.
got it.
They have a button for plaid. Respect.
I don't know what that word means.
Valid.
I don't think I have a metaphor for you, Lieutenant.
The Tamarian with no memes.
Yes. Gerald, his memes failed. Okay, so don't push the targeting button or it will fire. Don't push that button or it'll fire. Don't push that button or it will go plaid. Okay. And so I'm going to look, kind of gesture at the buttons, and then go at the lobster.
The lobster mirrors your motion and clicks its claws. I really wish you could understand me. We're not getting anywhere, I think.
I'm going to be like,
Oh, we can.
This is the dumbest
like,
weapon in the world.
you understand.
Who would
Right.
make a weapon that would exterminate their enemies 50,000 years from now? Or however long it would take to fire across the galaxy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe we could try this. If I walk up to it, and you said its claw has that little like cerebral tentacle thing.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if I point at it like point at that little tentacle? Is it going to be like, why are you pointing at my left nostril? You know what I mean? Like, will it verbalize what the function of that piece of its biology is?
So, I'm trying to think how to do this. So as Kasich is like, why would somebody make a weapon like this? The creature actually looks at Zephyr coming over, and you point at its little tendril, and it says, well, yes, this is our neural interface cable. You don't understand what that means, because I've tried to tell you that if you... I mean, I tried to interface with you earlier, and you shot him, and he points over at the still stunned body from before.
I'm a genius. I'm a genius, guys. Zephyr looks wildly shocked that it might actually work. And I look at Gerald and I'm like, I mean, we gotta like not have this thing blow up the entire galaxy, right? So like, one of us gotta chat with this thing, right?
Yes.
And I feel like we don't know how it could negatively impact somebody, and I think that you need to remain in your own mental faculties so that you can do whatever the task is that requires doing, because I'm not good with computers.
That seems reasonable. Are you about to let this thing attach itself to your face?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know what else we got going on here.
Do I leave that out of the report too, sir?
Well, no.
No.
I feel like we'll have to put that one in.
That'll need
Unfortunately,
to be in the report.
yeah, this one's gonna have to stick in there.
So, I think you'll need to either get him to come down or you climb up, and then point at the thing and point at your face again. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Sir, I'm gonna need your phaser before you
Oh,
do this remarkably stupid thing.
that's a really good idea. Yep. Here's my phaser. Yep.
Do you think we
Delete.
should advise the commander?
No.
Oh.
Well, I feel like this is one of those we tell him what happened later.
Better to ask
And,
forgiveness
yeah.
than permission?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is what Starfleet's all about. JDs and Littlemen. So, yeah, I guess I'll just climb up to the friendly one that hasn't been vibing with us for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll point to the little neural interface thing, and then point to my face, and I'll do like thumbs up. And I'll like pick it up like a baby, I guess, and be like, I don't know what to do, man.
Fitness medicine difficulty of 3.
Ooh.
Oh, and chat just redeemed a complication, so guess what? It's now difficulty of 4.
Nice timing. Good job.
I do have survival as a focus.
Would apply, actually.
Let's see. Okay.
You
Well,
have
I've
3
already
momentum.
used my determination, so
You might want to spend the 3 momentum.
yeah. No, I'm not. I'm gonna definitely commit to the bit for lack of a better term here. So fitness medicine, you said?
Yep.
All right. It could be worse. Could be worse. What's the diff?
4.
Goodness. Yeah, I guess I'll just give you a full boat. So
Hey, you just got momentum, so you're up to 4 momentum at least.
leave 1 momentum in case somebody needs cautious, and then the rest threat for all the way to 5 die.
All the way to 5 die. All right, I'll take that 3 threat then.
Alrighty.
Oh boy.
Well, Peter when the dice fell, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, you got 3 successes, which
Well.
means I can offer a success with a complication.
I think we're gonna have to take
yeah,
it.
yeah, I guess so.
All right. So it doesn't actually eat your face. What it does is it's open its claw, and the little tendril sort of lances out and like hits like the I forget what it's called, but the part of your eye that right next to your nose, whatever that's called.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But it hits that, and you then experience almost like a how to describe this. It's like being plugged into the Matrix, or like from Avatar, not Airbender, the other Avatar, the blue alien Avatar, where they plug into their horses and their birds and whatever. It's like plugging into the Matrix, plugging into a bird, plugging into something so unfathomably ancient that your mind is temporarily overwhelmed. But as the creature withdraws that tendril, again, this happens within an instant. The creature withdraws its tendril and says, "Okay, finally, can you understand me now? Can we stop doing the whole claw chattering? Because I couldn't. We're getting nowhere." And Zephyt alone is understandable.
Ow! Yes, I can understand you. Hello. Pleasure
Oh, good.
to
I
meet
can
you.
understand at least you now. That's exciting.
Did you not get any of my hand signals? I was trying to hand signal to you that we could understand what you were saying.
No, you were just making noises with your claws, and I didn't know what it meant.
All right. Well, that's okay. What's your name?
Well, I am Miv, and the one you stunned. You know what? The other one you stunned isn't important, but you need to stop the weapon from firing.
Yes, please convey to me the way that we can do that. My friend here, Gerald, is a very smart man, and if you can tell me how to do it, then he can probably solve the problem.
Well, that's kind of the big problem, is that because the safeguards have been knocked offline and the firing sequence has been engaged, none of the controls will actually shut it off. All of the controls will just make it fire faster. That's why we sent out the SOS in a desperate attempt that somebody could come along and stop it.
Okay, well that's good. We're getting somewhere. I want to ask you about the plaid button later on, but we'll solve that problem.
I mean, the plaid button is plaid. How could that not be clear?
Really good point. My apologies. So what is the next step? We've identified how much power you're feeding in here. Is there a way for us to just turn it off at the source? Can we?
You'd have to turn off the star at its source, which I don't know if your vessel. I assume you came here in a vessel. If your vessel has a way to shut down a star, then sure.
No. I don't think we don't have that capability. I mean,
Lieutenant Commander, what ability is he asking about?
Oh, my bad. He asked if we could turn off a star, which no.
Well,
What do you mean?
we
well?
might be able to. I don't think it's smart, but we might.
If turning off the star also blows up a lot of space, it's probably.
I mean, it would destroy the star system, at least.
Well, I guess technically better than everywhere. So
Mm,
we'll leave it in the back burner. Miv, you seem to be rather intelligent. What would you recommend as the way to go about stopping it from firing?
Well, there's a few ways we could go about it. We could disrupt the actual firing sequence somehow by hacking the controls. I mean, we didn't have much luck, but again, you're an alien species. Maybe you'll have different technologies and different approaches. We could, as you say, turn off the star. We could change the target to something that wouldn't be half the galaxy. Lots of options.
But how can you explain how does it fire? Is it just one quick burst and then it powers itself down for X amount of time, or is it like?
It times itself with the pulsar, so that as the pulsar moves across the firing barrel, as it is, the barrel hyper-concentrates the pulsar beam so that it fires out in bursts.
Okay.
Now, Zephyt, as a security officer, what it's describing is basically the same as like a pulse phaser that you would find on a Defiant class.
Okay, nice. But I just want to make sure it is only like once, right? It has set up to fire, it does the firing, and then when it cycles back, it doesn't fire again.
No, it keeps firing until
it
shut
just keeps
down.
going.
Like every
Till
time the
shut down.
pulsar swings by, that beam of EM energy is focused and fired.
Gotcha. So changing the target would be a slight solution,
that
but
would
then
buy us time.
right, yeah, exactly. All right, so our friend, this is Miv, by the way. He says hi. He was curious. He mentioned we could attempt to disrupt the firing sequence of the structure by potentially hacking the controls. He said that they attempted that but were unsuccessful.
We could try it again. We might have a different way of doing it. Otherwise, we would have to call back to the ship and see if we can put together a trilithium tricobalt device and follow in the footsteps of a Dr. Soren, which I would rather not.
Right. All right, Miv. Well, show me. I guess. Can I, like the symbols? Can I understand those as well?
Wait. I'm not an engineer or a scientist. I'm mostly just a grunt, but
Oh,
if, if it only fires when the pulsar gets to it, just change the timing. Right? If the lighthouse goes around once a minute or once a millisecond, I don't know what the timing is, but just make it half or the third. It just,
Right. Yeah, I guess we could alter the
like
firing.
a machine gun shooting through an airplane propeller.
Right. So that it never touches the spot
So
where
it just
triggers.
never hits the spot where the thing is.
Right. That's true.
so change the rotation of the system around it. Okay.
I'll mention that to Miv.
Changing
see
the
if-
rotational speed and pattern of the star. That is an ingenious idea. Is your ship capable of such?
Oh shit, I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Honestly, yeah.
I don't think so, unless, and this is going to be out there.
Star Trek, technobabble your way to victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, unless we can figure out how to boost the size of the coaxial warp drive bubble and do an in-place jump and just reorient the star.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
To build on that idea, you could also reorient the superstructure. Also
Right,
valid.
but it would have to be either one. We'd have to reorient the station itself or the star.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a piece of the structure, right?
Enough to keep it from lining up. Yeah.
Right.
Or-
right.
Is the aperture the only spot that it all
That
concentrates?
matters?
Because we
Yeah.
could put ourselves right next to the aperture and just tear it out
That
By
is something
using-
you could do.
by using the coaxial drive to rip it out of the structure.
Is something you could do. It'd be difficult, but it
Yeah.
could happen.
Didn't Captain say there's a whole pile of power in there, though?
In the power distribution node, yeah. The question is whether or not that's the same place as the
You,
It's the collector.
whatever your name is, you never told me your name. Or no, you did. You said you were Zephit. Sorry, I'm bad with names.
Yeah.
What are they talking about? They're making
Right.
noises with their, I don't know, what the holes in their faces.
Well, yeah, they're called face holes. Yes. So we're discussing. We have a unique method. Sorry, we have a unique drive system on our vessel. We're discussing what would happen if we use it to remove the aperture of the structure. If there is nowhere for it to concentrate the beam, so to speak, what would happen to it? Would it overload the station? Would it be
You
catastrophic?
wish to
or
remove
would
the
it-
barrel of the weapon. Wow, your starship must be quite mighty indeed. I suppose if you remove the barrel, it wouldn't have anything to focus on, and it would just be a normal pulsar again.
Okay, and that wouldn't like mess with anything. No, nothing would
Unless
be bad,
someone
right?
replaced the barrel, no, it would just be a normal star. Well, normal pulsar anyway.
Okay, guys, Miv thinks that we're really smart, and the more that we talk about things, the more that he thinks we're really smart. So this is a good path. That sounds pretty solid, all things considered.
Andrew, you do know that he can understand when you translate back to us, right?
Yeah, I heard all of
Oh.
that.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a really, yeah,
I'm
Well-
starting to question your intelligence now.
that's valid. Yeah, I would as well. This is very confusing. Okay.
Perhaps I should interface with them as well? And it opens up its claws, little tendril comes out.
I will pull off your arms.
He
What is
says-
that
he
one
says-
saying?
He says, "No, please, thank you. I respectfully declines your offer."
Okay.
We're all kind of like thinks about it for a minute. This seems like it might be useful.
It wasn't as bad as I originally anticipated, but do note we have no idea what, if any, are the negative side effects of this course of action.
That is true.
But there's no way that I, in any way, can tell you to not let him do it, because, I mean, come on, look at me.
Because it's funny, that's when the complication from the roll happens. Zephyr, everything turns plaid.
Oh, God! Oh, God, everything's plaid. My eyes are crossed awkwardly.
Giral is going to be very concerned and pull out the medical, turn on the medical function on the tricorder.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just plaid. I can deal with plaid for a little while. We gotta solve this problem.
That doesn't make me think it's okay. At least let me get a quick scan.
All right, Giral,
All right.
reason medicine, difficulty of 1. Please get some momentum on this.
Would my internal medicine be a
Yes,
focus
it
here?
would. It would. Okay, just 1. No momentum, but you get your 1 success. Similar to a ocular migraine, this will pass eventually, but Zephyr will see plaid for a good while.
Miv, do you see plaid?
Yes, that's what everything is in the universe. It's all plaid.
Why? That's awful.
But there's
I'm going
plaid,
to-
and then there's plaid.
Even when I can understand you, those are the same word. I don't.
No, and
Is that-
Miv starts gesturing wildly at the plaid button. No, that is plaid. And then he motions at his eyes. And this is plaid.
Can you explain the difference between those two things?
No,
Sir?
it is obvious. How are you not understanding this?
One's a button and the other one is an eyeball, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm going to say that I would rather not have an ocular migraine in the middle of trying to coordinate a surgical removal of a
Mhm.
potentially catastrophic device.
Yeah.
So I'm going to respectfully decline for now.
What is
And
that
then
one's
I-
face hole saying?
He is also respectfully declining.
Okay.
He does not want to see plaid while trying to.
Well, good, because there's plaid and then there's plaid.
Right. Plaid and plaid. Yes. My apologies.
So, not to be a bit of a rush here, but you got about 30 minutes.
As he's saying that, you're going to see Giral touch his communicator.
Yeah.
Giral to Event Horizon.
Go ahead.
Captain, we may have determined a method to stop this device from firing, but it requires the ship to put itself in close to harm's way and do something rather taxing with the coaxial drive.
Can you define taxing?
We're going to tear a piece off of the structure.
With the coaxial drive.
Yes, use the fact that we are folding into a dimensional rift to tear a piece along with us into another location. Doesn't have to be far, but as long as it's removed from the structure, we should be able to stop it from firing.
Wouldn't that be easier with a torpedo?
I'm not sure that the two energy signatures would get along well, but we can ask our friend here.
I'll do you
You
one
think a
better. If
coaxial
Mason
drive would-
or Giral wants to do a reasoned security, it would be a difficulty of 0. So you're still going to succeed, but we're trying to get you momentum here.
Okay, mine is a 12. Do you want me to
Mine's
roll?
14.
Okay, you roll.
I'll roll since I'm in the middle of a lecture.
Okay. 3 successes. So,
Nice.
hey, 3 momentum,
Wow.
bringing you up to 4. So, Mason, you think about that and you think, yeah, if you had tricobalt torpedoes, that might be possible. But the Event Horizon only has transphasic torpedoes. Great for Borg, not so much for blowing up superstructures that are mega structures.
Right, but we did get momentum.
You did get momentum, which is the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
How much momentum do we have?
You have 4 at the moment.
4.
We have 4.
We could make a trait with 2 of those.
You could.
And then that would lower the difficulty by 2 when we try to do our work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what trait would you like to create?
Let's call it coaxial warp theory.
Coaxial warp theory, sure.
And then I imagine like Mason and Jarrell will do like a small scene, 60 seconds or so of just technobabble going back and forth as we brainstorm.
Yep.
But if we did this, we did this, but we'd have to get the degrees right and the vectors and the kelvins and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So, my question is Gerald going to go back to the Event Horizon to try this? Is the entire away team going back to the Event Horizon? Or is Mason and the Event Horizon doing it on their own?
Probably would be good for Gerald to be in the engineering room.
Yes.
Well, the engineering closet, but yeah.
Yeah.
Would my plaid vision disrupt my ability to pilot the Event Horizon efficiently? For
complication range 18 to 20.
Yeah, so I'm going to not fly the Event Horizon for this extremely important maneuver then.
We could just put like colorblind settings on the LCARS panel. It'll be fine. Right?
You give me some dope ass glasses to counteract the plaid effect.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Or you could do it manually.
Could also manually fly it.
That's
this
true.
is a Tom Paris ship. It
That's
does
true,
have
yeah.
manual.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so manual flight would be okay with plaid, yeah?
Yeah, no complication for that.
There'd be no buttons, so
That's true, yeah, no buttons. So I could do that.
Okay, so we'll bring the away team back. We'll bring the survivor as well.
there's technically 3 of them. One hasn't popped
They're all
out
small right now, right?
Yeah.
Currently,
They're like the size of a wiener dog.
Yeah.
We'll take the ones that are awake just in case something horrible happens.
Sure. Good idea.
Keep the species in existence.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see if we can pull this off.
Maeve, I'm going to bring you and your friends back to our ship in case we mess something up and things go poorly.
Well, that's probably a good thing because I think there's only 3 of us left in the galaxy because we accidentally blew up our home system in the process.
Oh, that's wildly unfortunate. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Gerald doesn't understand this, but I'm curious. Is that the pile of rocks that we saw in the system?
Yeah, I was about to ask, yeah. Yeah.
Almost like how there's a maxim of if there's a gun, always assume there's a bullet in it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that
They
might
did
have been
not,
misfired.
They were not doing firearm safety. That's unfortunate. They negligent discharged at their own homeworld. Tragic. All right, well, I'll be like, well, that's. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, we don't make matters worse. It'll be a good time. So, how fast do you guys grow, by the way? Not like super rapid, is it?
Well, it depends on honestly how fast we molt. If I really, really wanted to molt, it would take me 3 months to get back to that size. And he points over at his former corpse.
Oh, okay. All right, we're good then. We're good. I'll tell him the readout of how our ship is set up. Like, you're not gonna die if you look.
No, that atmosphere seems compatible.
All right, good. All right, Miv, we're gonna beam all of ourselves back, and we're gonna try to remove the barrel of this gun. So.
All right. So, Gerald, Mason, and Zephit are all back aboard the Event Horizon. You have a very, very hard task ahead of you, but you also have some traits to lower the difficulty. So the initial difficulty was going to be a mythical 6, one of those rare instances where it was actually so difficult that it was technically impossible as per rules as written. However, with 2 traits, you lower that from a 6 to a 4. So it is possible, but a little maybe not probable. Now, what I would tell you is that for Gerald to do this would be a daring engineering.
Oh.
For Mason to do this would be a daring and science. For Zephit to do this would be a daring security. The event horizon is definitely engines engineering. And again, it is a difficulty of 4, and this will require reserve power to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
My combination here is a 12, daring and engineering.
You would have a focus in reverse engineering.
I have a focus in reverse engineering, and I also would probably use my value of solutions come from adaptability.
You have a determination left?
Yeah.
I haven't used one yet this session, so
Perfect. Yeah. So you're going to roll.
Yeah. I think you're the best, and I think you assist, Tony, and then if we need a second assist, then I can maybe assist.
Well, as a reminder, since the ship is already automatically assisting, you would be 1 momentum for that extra assist.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll spend 1 and I will direct the task.
Okay, in that case, you may assist with a presence command.
So I'm using a focus,
Nice.
determination. Can I also burn a momentum to get a 3rd die? Or do we not have any left?
You have 3 momentum remaining right now.
Okay, so I'm going to give myself a 3rd die. The ship. I'm setting up both rolls. Okay, so...
All right, well, there's 2 from
Oh
Mason.
my God!
There's 5
Whoa.
from Gerald and 1 from the ship for a grand total of 8 successes, making you capped on momentum. Well done. So narratively, what this looks like is the event horizon swoops around some of the rocks of the former planet it was hiding behind, gets right up close to the quote-unquote barrel of this massive superstructure gun, and then begins to glow with that same sort of blue light. That blue light then extends out to part of the barrel, and then there's kind of a popping noise as the event horizon and the barrel whoop out of existence into that tesseract space. And then where did you want to reemerge? Like, just far enough away? Do you want to do it in an entirely another system? Hell, if you really wanted to, you could probably pull this all the way back to Daystrom and give Daystrom something really fun.
Oh, yeah.
That could be entertaining. Just show up. Hey, guys!
Look what we found.
I think we'll just remove it for now, and we can always drag it back later.
Okay. So then what's going to
Much
happen
easier to
is you pop back into existence far enough away from the superstructure that it can't be reconnected. And yeah, as the pulsar rotates, as the timing or as the doom clock ticks down, the pulsar sweeps over where the barrel was. Nothing happens. It just keeps going on its merry way.
Nice.
There's still an enormous amount of power in that structure that we need to bleed out, but at least the clock stopped, right?
Now, hey, Zephyr, could you ask Miv if, since the clock has timed out, can we now use the controls to, like, shut it down?
I'll do you one better. Miv points to one of your consoles, specifically Zeph, and says, "No need. The weapon's already powering down. Look there."
Oh, nice. Ms. showing me here that looks like because of that, the weapon is already powering itself down. Maybe it hit a failsafe or something when it couldn't fire out the barrel and it's turning itself off.
How long do you think it's going to take before it bleeds out?
Do we know? Can I
Do you
tell?
want to ask Miv?
Yeah, let's ask Miv. How long we got?
Miv replies, well, at the current rate, roughly 3,000 years.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll take 3,000 years for it to burn itself out, so it's a long time. But maybe we could speed up that process potentially.
I would say that's something for the brass to figure out. We'll take our scans back to HQ and they can figure out what to do with it.
Something for the Corps of Engineers. We may you realize, Commander, that we may be ferrying them here for a little while.
That's what they want us to do. That's what we'll do.
Miv, what do you want us to do with you and your survivors? We can take you back to our Federation space and put you with some ambassadors. You can discuss next steps for your species.
That sounds like a very Plaid suggestion.
Plaid, yeah, brother. Plaid, yeah.
And it's on that note that we zoom out of the event horizon. We see that giant gun barrel just sort of floating in space. The event horizon turns blue and boops out of reality. And that'll be where we end today's session.
Lasting side effect, I will sometimes say plaid in situations where I do not mean to say plaid.
But no, I do want to say, Raven, that was an ingenious idea you had.
Yeah,
there.
that was really smart. That was great.
Yeah, I was thinking of the old World War I planes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They timed the bullet to go between the blades.
Yeah, to go between the blades, yeah.
Prop was going, yeah.
Super well done. I love that the Orion came up with it. Just like, but gun, not
Just
fire.
gun.
No, I think that's going to get Mr. Kessick an award of some kind. I don't know what kind of award, but it's going to get him an award.
Starfleet Medal of Valor or something.
Something like that, or maybe the Corps of Engineer will go, here you go, buddy. Just have the Corps of Engineer.
You're an engineer.
Award from the Corps of Engineers on a security guy.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's not that bright.
Well, he's just bright in different ways, is how we'll put it.
Yeah. A unique way of thinking.
Yeah. All right. Well, Twitch, stick around because we're going to raid somebody, but YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.